to our little show.
Roll with the troll.
Roll with the troll, and I'm here with my lovely co-host, the voice of reason.
Thank you.
She is going to be helping me out as we review Halloween 4.
Yes.
Listen, this is a fucking classic.
Yes.
This is an underrated movie. This is a kind of movie that a lot of people shit on, and they have no business shitting. This is a story of a man named Brady.
They should be totally constipated about the whole thing.
Yeah, well, I didn't know about that. This is a story about a kid named Brady who was torn between two very lovely girls. Now, one of them was a little more like the straight shooter kind of girl. You know what I mean? She didn't want to give it up a lot in high school. She was nothing like the voice of reason.
Oh my God!
She was remarkably prude. And she wasn't quite ready to sleep with Brady yet.
Wow.
She thought about it, but she wasn't quite ready. And then this other girl now, Kelly. Now, Kelly, I believe her name is.
Slut-o-rama.
Well, we don't know that because she had feelings for Brady as well. And
anyway,
we don't know. We don't know. She likes Brady. She thinks Brady's a nice guy. He is a nice guy.
He is a nice guy.
So this whole thing got just out of control. The whole plot to this movie, where Brady is supposed to go on this date with Rachel, and now he can't because Rachel's parents, in the last minute, got this whole thing going on.
She got a baby.
This is a real conundrum. So that is what essentially kicks off the story here. Is what's going to happen here with Brady. Now there is a subplot involved as well, where Jamie has like a weird uncle. And he is trying. Look how lame he looks. Like here in the thumbnail. I just think that looks like shit. Like the mask is pretty lame in this movie.
Yeah. But
I can't blame Michael that much because he had so little to work with. If you remember, he had to grab the first mask he saw at that little Quickie Mart kind of thing. So I mean, he's walking around with like fucking. Up until that scene, he's walking around with the bandages and shit around his head, still like a mummy.
Looking like a mummy.
Yeah, so you get what you get, but the fact that he went to the store where his own costume as a kid was still, after all these years, after 10 years. Oh, my God. Anyway, Voice of Reason, what did you think overall of this film?
I'll be honest, I don't think it's as bad as many people say, and that happens a lot with me with movies, but this whole concept of him kind of like transferring the evil to the young Jamie at the end, that I could get into that. I could have furthered that a little bit more, I think.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
I mean, it's not the worst idea in the world.
It's better than surrounding her and going, Jamie's an orphan, Jamie's mummy's a mummy.
Evil children.
Those are the worst kids ever. And then it was kind of like a Rudolph story because as soon as they saw she had a cool costume, then they're like, hey, you want to hang out with us and be one of the cool kids? And she's like, I hated you guys about 4 hours ago, but I'd really like to do that. So, that was an interesting part of the story as well. I really like this movie a lot. To me, when I think of my teenage years, I think of this movie a lot. There were so many times I just wanted a good scare, and I'd put this fucking movie on. and like whenever I had chicks over and I wanted to scare them, I'm like Halloween 4, baby, on VHS.
Yeah.
There's so many good moments in this movie. It's got a lot of like Alfred Hitchcock-y kind of things too, like where the deputy is in the chair and he's rocking in the rocking chair.
Yeah.
And then it's not him anymore, it's Michael.
Yeah.
That's taken out of a couple things. I think Hitchcock and a couple other things have used that same idea. And also just the idea of like when Brady shot at the door and then he goes, oh no, we're stuck in this house.
Yeah.
That idea has been used. It's basically, this movie was a hodgepodge of all the classic horror tropes. Like old school horror too. I don't mean like in the 70s and 80s. I mean like old school horror.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool. Michael under the bed and like this little scene here and everything. There's a lot of really good moments. I don't think the film was incredibly well directed overall, but I do think they got the ambiance right for Halloween.
Yeah.
Especially those first couple minutes of the movie where all you see is just there's like no real sound. It's just shots of just random Halloween shit.
Yeah.
I like that. That was so basic and so cool.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Lots of good stuff.
I did like that. I liked the opening.
Yeah, the opening was great. It was almost silent, but that was really great.
And that was perfect. I mean, the silence tells the story.
You know what all these movies seem to do? Like this happened in Halloween 2. It happened a little bit, I think, in the first film. It happens here. It happens later in later sequels. Is some confusion over who's the real Michael versus some guy in a mask.
Right, yeah.
And the scene here, I remember when HBO was showing this a lot, they used this as part of their commercial for Halloween 4. they showed the scene where they get surrounded by all these fake Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
And the deputy, or not, it wasn't the deputy, it was the sheriff.
Yeah.
He's like, what the hell, what's going on?
Yeah.
And like, they don't know what to do. And they're just staring at all these guys. And then they drive off, but then one of them's left, and it is oh my Lord. That's another one, though. I feel like even that idea is kind of an old idea that was pulled back from like Twilight Zone. Mm-hmm. This movie's got a real Twilight Zone vibe to me. Because there's a lot of stuff where Jamie's having these dreams, these nightmares and stuff, and then you're not quite sure what's reality and what's not. Almost a little bit of Nightmare on Elm Street, too.
Yes.
Where like you don't really know, was that a dream, was it not? They really did a lot to make this have a classic horror feel in, I think, a different way than the first two films did. Mm-hmm. You think so?
Yeah. This one had it has a whole different energy, really, than the first one for sure.
Yeah. I know Michael's mask is pretty stupid in this film. It doesn't look good, and his hair and everything are just really not quite right. But this is a different Michael to me. This is like almost a smart-ass Michael. Yeah. Because in every other film, Michael's ultimate goal is he really can't wait to kill somebody. Mm-hmm. Here, he really wants to scare them a lot first. I feel like he tries to look, even in the first film, you could say, well, in the first film, there was a lot of suspense. Well, he was doing his homework. He was walking up and down the street. He was checking things out. He was seeing where people lived. He was doing his homework in that first film.
Voyeur, stalker.
Yeah, a lot of that. He reminded me of a buddy of mine in high school. But anyway, in this film, it's a little more like he's very confident and he just wants to scare everybody and have some fun with them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think that was different. It's a very different Michael than we see in any of the other films to me. But I still like it. I still think he's well done. Mm-hmm. I just think, like you said, it's a very different kind of energy.
Yeah. I like it when Michael steps back to admire his own work.
Yeah, and that he's always done. Even in the first film, there was quite a bit of that.
That is consistent, Michael.
Yeah. Very interesting movie. I like that we got the gang, like the mob, the mob going after him. Yeah. Those guys from the bar.
Yeah.
I like that.
Earl and the guys.
Yeah, Earl and those cats. We did something similar with Halloween Kills, but I think in this film that was really well done.
Dies tonight.
Yeah, I really liked in this film the way they all got together. The problem is they got together, they were boozing all night. That's how they spent Halloween, just drinking. Yeah. And then they went out and they fucking shot Ted Hollister.
God damn it.
And the problem, right before they shot Ted, the one guy, he goes, I seen his face. Yeah. Wait a minute. No, if you've seen his face, then there's definitely a problem.
You're right.
First of all, he hasn't been around in 10 years. Secondly, you're drunk. And third, he wears more masks than fucking any of the Democrats with COVID.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's just like he's constantly in a mask. What do you mean you saw his face? You saw someone in a mask on Halloween night from 100 yards away? Like, what? They were so far away from him, too. He's like, I seen him.
Yeah.
Like, that was a real problem to me. But anyway, all right. So those guys, they shot Ted Hollister. Not a good situation. I'll tell you this. Brady, we talked about him earlier, the hero of the film. Brady is torn between these two chicks. And you're kind of supposed to wonder, I think, a little bit, like, is he an all right kid? Is he a bad kid? What's the story? But when he went up against Michael trying to save Rachel and Jamie.
Yeah.
That was valiant. That was the greatest fight against Michael in the whole movie.
Yeah.
Except maybe for Loomis with the gun.
Yeah.
But he really tried, man. He did. He tried so hard. He fought till the end. He's throwing punches. And again, like Michael could have taken him out quicker. And Michael's sort of toying with him. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even when Michael took his gun and then dropped it from the stairs.
Yeah.
He did it in not like a quick, angry, aggressive way. Mm-hmm. Like when he kills people in Halloween Kills, especially. But he's more brutal in Halloween Kills and some of the other films. In this one, it's more like he's just kind of like, you see what I just did? I dropped your gun. Yeah. Now I'm going to walk at you slowly. I'm going to take my time, motherfucker. Yeah. He doesn't really get that mad or he's rushing at anybody like he does in the other films.
Yeah.
And again, it's very different, but it works for this movie for me. I thought it was a unique change.
Yep.
What did you think of how long that chase went? Like from the time that the girls were running up the stairs into the attic and Brady was trying to fend him off.
Yeah.
To then when it lasted, like they were in the attic, then they get up onto the roof.
Yeah.
And for a minute, I thought we might not see Michael for several minutes. And maybe they get on the roof and then they run off and we don't see Michael.
Yeah. No, I thought that whole thing, the whole chase scene from the time he started going after them after he killed Brady to the time that he, was on the roof and Rachel falls off the roof or whatever, that whole thing felt like an appropriate length of time for that whole thing. It wasn't too short. It wasn't too long. It was just right.
Yeah, I've always thought so too. And I really liked it when they're on the roof. For a while, you don't see Michael. For a little while, it's about them getting their footing and they can climb and then they fall back.
Yeah.
But then when you do see them, they didn't bother with like trying to ease into it or give you the music first or cue like, oh, there they just there he is. Fuck it.
Dang, there he is.
Yeah, I have always liked that. It's scarier. It feels more real. It's so good. I love so many of the scenes in this movie, so many of the choices they made, because that whole chase at any second could have ended. Like, and it really went on for a long time.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed the way even when they get down like off the roof, there's still a little bit of a chase going on for a while. And you don't know how soon he's going to get up. Oh my God.
Yep.
Fucking good. Then when Loomis sees Jamie and suggests they go to the schoolhouse.
Yeah.
I've never understood why Dr. Loomis thinks the schoolhouse is the place to hide.
I didn't get that either.
But okay.
But I guess the point was that he didn't want to take her back home because Michael would definitely look for her there. And he presumably knows where it is. And is he going to take her to somebody else's home and then put them in danger? So the schoolhouse, they need a building or someplace to go. So
I guess I didn't think it was the most brilliant, especially because he shot at the door at the schoolhouse, which, you can probably hear. It doesn't seem like a very big neighborhood. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a little odd to me. I would have knocked on a random door and just said, can we just come in? I don't know what else to do here. But maybe that wouldn't have worked. So he goes to the schoolhouse, and the problem remember when the lynch mob showed up at the schoolhouse?
Yeah.
All I could think was, you guys are still fucking around this whole night. It's been like an hour since you killed Ted Hollister.
They were men on a mission.
I really thought once they killed Ted Hollister, I just assumed
they would have called it a night. Yeah.
Like, damn it, Earl, you said you saw Myers. I thought they would have just said, all right, let's just go home and drink. We fucked this up. They were still tooling around looking for him even after that.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
I would not have made that decision if I were those guys. I would have been out there in the first place. How are you going to find...
I liked it when that one guy said, I don't know, Earl, that sounds like a good idea to me. When
when
they were told to go home, let the police handle it. Yeah. He was like, that sounds good to me, Earl.
You're talking about him as if he were a human being. That part of him died long ago. Yeah. There's so many great lines. This was...
Loomis is so great.
Loomis had really good lines in the first two films.
Yeah.
But I do feel like 4 and 5 gave him I think they really increased the stakes of his verbiage. 4 and 5 gave him these lines that were very deliberately meant to just live on forever.
Yeah.
That was one of them. He had so many good ones. And there's even that line toward the beginning of the film where Loomis says to Dr. Hoffman, where he says, why did you let it leave here?
Yes.
Or why did you take it out of here? Or something like that. He referred to him as an it. That was so cool. Oh my God. So let's talk about the final ending now.
Yeah.
Did they have any reason to think that they really killed Michael at the end?
Well, allegedly they buried him because Loomis said something like, Michael is in hell, buried. So
it's because he fell in the cemetery. He fell down.
But I'm assuming that means that they then covered him and literally buried him, and they're feeling confident that that was the end of him.
Yeah, they never saw part 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a little... I know they had a lot of firepower, a lot of artillery and shit, but I think it was a little odd that after Halloween 2, where we know bullets don't do a damn thing. And it's funny, you got to give it to Loomis. He still tried shooting Michael a couple times in this film, even after Halloween 2. Mm-hmm. When he confirmed that, all right, bullets do not work on this man. Because I always thought the first film at the ending there, when he's firing it, when Loomis is firing it at Michael, that I feel like, well, it could have been a fluke, could have been a lot of things, could have been whatever. But then by Halloween 2, it's clear that okay, no, it wasn't a fluke. Bullets don't do shit to this man.
Confirmed.
This guy just keeps right on going. So anyway, I thought the ending was a little funny. I kept waiting for shouldn't we do more than just shoot at him? You guys need dynamite and huge bazookas and all kinds of explosives. And you just set the whole fucking town on fire. Get everybody out. It's the only way. So anyway, that's the only way to end that situation with Michael Myers.
Yes.
And it's the only way to end this video. Voice of Reason, any final thoughts? thoughts?
Hit the like button, please.
Yeah, please like and subscribe, support the channel, guys. We're having so much fun in the comments with everybody. We'll see you all soon. We'll be going live soon. We'll be back to review Halloween 5.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Thanks.